And we are live. Fantastic. So, welcome to the next rendition of the growth model. So, I say the next rendition. The previous live went through how to adopt a growth mindset for your own personal growth. It allows you to frame your vision and your growth goals in terms of SMART objectives. Baseline your current position as to where you're at right now. Create a line of sight from your baseline to go up to your own SMART objectives, and increasing your task efficiency to enable you to increase your ability, relationship, and knowledge. And that will leave you a staircase to growth, because when you're able to hit your growth objectives, you can re-baseline, and then your objectives and your growth goals that you've met will form your new current position for you to set new goals. In business, it works very, very much the same. The current position will be applicable to your business, and I'm going to go through that in a second. The line of sight will be exactly the same from your current position to where you want to get to in terms of growth in your business. And your objectives, again, will be SMART as well. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start from scratch again, because the drawing of this will need to be relevant to how you can implement it yourself and create your own action plans within your own business. There's going to be some high-level financial speak and some terminology. There's going to be some understanding as to how you can operationalize these actions into your own business to deliver objectives to your people and perhaps some KPIs to your people. And then if you stay till the end, we'll be able to put in place an action plan for your business and how this can then be cascaded out into your business in terms of your people teams. And then tomorrow, we're going to cover how you can take on a mentorship program, or how you can deliver an in-house apprentice development program adopting the same model. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start right from the beginning, and this means task efficiency versus ability, relationships, and knowledge. TEvARK. So in terms of your business, going back to the 7 questions that you can ask in any business scenario in order to troubleshoot, in order to implement change, in order to understand how you can move things and these actions, these tangible actions forward, the first question is always why. Now, the why in business terms may mean you want to grow in sales, may mean you want to grow in gross profit. It may mean you want to grow in net profit. It may mean that you want to grow organically or exponentially over the next 5 years. And so you might want to grow organically into another market, or into another geography, or another place in the world, or in your sector, and diversify your product or service offering. And so the why very much needs to be as SMART and as the S would signify, specific as possible. In your business terms, it's important, in my opinion, to have a vision as well. Now, it's not just a fluffy term in terms of having a vision and a strapline that you have framed on the wall that you say, this is what we do. The vision should guide daily decision-making in your business. Your vision will have a definite purpose for your business. It will have a plan for the future, and it will also have in place your core values. So always refer back to your vision as to the why, for the why, so to speak. Now, in terms of the first step in this process, it's important that you understand the why in terms of the vision. And then before you establish why here, you need to put in place your current position in terms of your business. So we call this the baseline. And let's get into the details. So in terms of today, you can start to ask the 6 remaining questions. So we've already asked why, which we're going to answer because we need to make them smart and relevant to the baseline for the R for the baseline. You need to be able to achieve them as well. So that's why we need to understand a little bit more in terms of the current position as to what's happening today. And we're going to apply the 6 steps in this process to allow us to frame how you can put in place a tangible action plan for you to achieve your growth objectives in your business. So we're asking why here. We also need to ask who, in terms of business structure, how many people do you currently have, where, so where do you currently do business? Are you currently in the town where you live? Do you have a national organisation? Do you have a multi-regional organisation? Do you have an international or global organisation? And you can consolidate all of these into one single piece of information, or you can indeed delegate and empower your teams to create their own current position and so on and so forth, because you can then task them with creating their own growth objectives, which refer to your vision and essentially the budget, which we'll get to in terms of the why in a second. So who, where, what are you doing currently in terms of current initiatives? That's very important, because when we establish the why and the baseline, we're going to put in place something that will allow you to grow your business exponentially, and that's solving the customer value equation. So what happens between selling and the customer buying? And we'll come on to that in a second. But what is it you're currently doing in terms of initiatives right now? How are you currently delivering the services or products in your business? Is it something that you want to add into the baseline as to how you're currently delivering these things? Because one of your objectives might be to change how you're currently delivering these things, to make them more efficient, to increase your ability, relationship, and knowledge, which will increase customer value, which we'll come on to in a second as well. So we've asked why, who, where, what, how. We're going to come on to when as well. So we'll put when up here. Spell that properly. When? And also how much is the last remaining question. So we're going to answer how much in the form of your current P&L, the way that your business currently ticks financially. Because when you want to establish a robust growth plan for your business, you need to understand exactly what sales you're making, what your cost of sales is, what your obviously GP is then after that, what your expenses are, what your EBITDA is, EBIT after depreciation, interest, profit before tax, and then profit after tax. So we're going to add these into the current baseline. Some of it will be illustrative, some of it I will write out as well, because this is about creating from the current position, the line of sight to your why. Okay, so from today in your business, you will have a current operational structure. Okay, these are usually drawn by these kinds of diagrams. You may have someone in there like that. So current organizational structure. You will have a number of people within your business, and that should solve the who right now. You might want to also add in some of your key clients, maybe your top 5 clients or your top 5 products or services, that are revenue generating, because again, you want to be able to, I call it holding up the mirror. You want to be able to lift up the mirror to your business, and even when you look yourself in the mirror, you will pinpoint some things, maybe with yourself or with your surroundings, that you think, well, that's I'd love to do something with that. For example, if I held up the mirror, I'm happy with this, but I'm in my home office. I'd love to be somewhere else, for example. But actually, I'm really pleased here talking to you guys, of course. So, in terms of your who, you've got your organizational structure, number of people, and who your people are, and the teams. You can have clients as well, and that's important when we think about the customer value equation also. Then, what is your revenue currently? What's your cost of sales? And what is your GP after cost of sales? Okay. Then what are your expenses? And then what is your EBITDA? And you've got depreciation, you've got EBIT, you've got interest, profit before tax, tax, and then profit after tax, profit after tax. Now we're just going to get our red pen, and I'm going to put a star next to this, and both EBITDA and EBIT. So net profit, underlying operating profit, and EBITDA. So the reason why this is important to establish right from the beginning is that there are, in terms of increasing sales, if you want to increase your revenue, there are three ways that you can do that. One is to increase the price. Another one is to increase the amount of sales, and the other one is to grow organically or inorganically. Let's say four. So organic or inorganic growth. So you're taking this current position in terms of a business subsidiary or business unit, and you're duplicating it somewhere else. So you effectively, progressively, and the ambition could be to start from a smaller subsidiary and grow it into the same size as the parent business, and you've effectively doubled your revenue and created a carbon copy. Similarly, if you buy another business with sales, you will inherit the sales that come across into your business, and that's how you can increase sales. Now, if you're going to increase price or aim to increase sales, there's only one way that you can do that, and that is by solving the customer value equation. Whether it's marketing, or whether it's your sales team, or whether it's yourself, it's understanding what happens from selling something and the customer buying something. And we'll come on to that when we look at the TEvARK model. To increase GP, your GP, your gross profit, will grow naturally in line with your revenue, with your sales. And when your sales go up, your P&L will follow in parallel. But if you are suffering with sales, or if you are in a commoditized market where price is very competitive, and you still want to increase your gross profit, then you need to be able to optimize your cost of sales. Similarly, if your cost of sales is what it is, so an example would be for a services business. You're a company that is selling services to a client. Client it has their own profit and loss account, and you've got people dedicated to that client. They will fall under that P&L for that client, and therefore cost of sales. So you're making a certain amount of GP from that client. And if you want to optimize the GP, then you've got to optimize the organization that serves that client. And the same with expenses. So if you want to increase your net profit or your underlying operating profit, and your cost of sales you can't touch, or you don't feel like you can optimize, then you need to optimize your expenses. And all of this needs to be relative to your growth goals, but also it needs to be relative to ensure that you can still satisfy the needs of the business sustainably, in terms of bringing in the sales with reduced expenses, bringing in the sales with reduced cost of sales, and optimizing those two costs to increase your GP and EBIT. The punchline, if you stay till the end, will come very, very clear on how this will work to increase sales, optimize cost and expenses to increase profit and underlying operating profit. So you've got your current position in terms of your structure, your people, your clients. You've got down your current financial position, and you can show this very, very easily on a graph as well. So, you'll have your, for example, let's just say your revenue there, and then your axis will go across there, and you might have different product or service lines in terms of revenue, and then your profit will do something like that, and you'll have a percentage. You can see that on there, if not zoom in. A percentage axis going up this way, but you've got your current position in terms of your finances there. Now, in terms of where, you might want to put down where as well. If you're doing something that's consolidated, put down where in terms of region, where in terms of your offices are, or your HQ it is. And that's important in case you want to grow into another jurisdiction or into another market. Here also, it's important to understand the market potential. Market potential. I've got a book out on Amazon that you can read on as to how you can assess your own market potential. There's also an article on my website as well, if you want to read that. But that's understanding the size of the market based on the amount of customers that you have currently in your book of business and how much extra you can sell to them. That's organic growth market potential. Knowing the amount of clients within your own target market, that you have warm leads, that's being able to tap into the internal market potential. And then you've got the total market potential, which is all of the potential customers in your target market that you haven't yet got leads with. So market potential, also understand who your competitors are. Okay. Competitors. Once you've got to this point, you can then understand what your internal strengths and weaknesses and the external opportunities and threats are as well. So this is just for everyone that wants to look at how to create a growth plan for their business. And actually, the 6 steps for growth is covered here for your starting position. So once you've understood that's your current position there. So you've got your current financial position, your current organizational structure, number of clients, number of people. You've got in place where you're operating, the current market potential, who's competing against you, your internal and external strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. And if you read the articles as well, it demonstrates how you can merge and integrate to leverage your strengths against external opportunities and leverage strengths against external threats as well. So now you've got your current baseline from today, where you want to go, where you're at right now. Now it's time to understand what your ambition is, and over time as well. That will then formulate the why in terms of objectives as to what you want to achieve in your business. So you should be able to establish this current position. Okay, so as the model was drawn yesterday, that's your current position. Okay, and now just give ourselves a bit more space on the board, because we've asked all of those questions. Now you want to add in the key objectives that you want to satisfy in order to grow over time. So your vision may be to be the best service provider and always chosen in this market in the UK. Full stop. That improves quality of sleep for people. So you think about your core values, your definite purpose, and your plan for the future. So to aid your decision making on what it is you want to achieve, use your vision. For the objectives, you need to make these as specific as possible, and also think about when you're going to achieve these objectives. Now, in my opinion, you can get stuck when you're looking at what I call a 12-month or in-year P&L for growth planning and for strategic action planning. Why? Because you spend lots of time focusing on achieving an end goal within 12 months, that it's the next 12 months that you then need to satisfy. And then everyone kind of runs around and thinks, wow, we've got other targets to meet. We've got new clients to mobilize. We've just launched a new product, and we've got issues now with this product because we've been focusing on this one. So we need to do a relaunch here and then launch this one, etc., etc., etc. The longer you plan ahead for these growth objectives, the more sustainable it will be, because you can re-baseline every year in business. You can re-baseline every year in your own personal growth. And I would advise you do that as well, because you're continually tracking your progress against where you started from to where you want to get to. So in, let's say, 5 years' time, so we'll put the when, so we'll put 5 years. The why, you can add in percentage GP increase. You can add percentage UOP, so EBIT increase, and you can add in revenue increase. You can add in, again, going back to the questions that you can ask as well, you can answer the question to where you want to be in 5 years, geographically. You can answer what you want to deliver. You can answer who is going to be in your organization if you want to grow in terms of volume of people. And you'll be able to make quite educated estimates as to how many people you have in your organization based on how much you're projected to grow over 5 years. So that can answer the who. Also with the who, you can target specific clients as well, or client avatars. So you might say in the medical profession, in terms of patients, you might know that you want to help a certain demographic of people. For example, winter's coming. There might be some vulnerable people that need vaccinations. There might be people who need PPE very quickly, and so it's as long as it's ethical, then you're able to understand which clientele is in the future you can satisfy and increase customer value moving forward. Specific clients, big players, demographics of clients, you can also add in over time as to how you want to get into a target market. So you've answered why. You can answer now how much. This is the question as to how much to raise your GP, your underlying operating profit, your revenue. You can also look in terms of corporate finance as to will go high level in terms of the price of releasing equity to shareholders, for example. So in terms of profit after tax, that's retained equity. And in many cases, the big companies, they either issue a scrip dividend or they retain the cash in the business because they can reinvest it and grow the business further, which increases the equity for the shareholders. So Warren Buffett actually says the value of retaining the dollar in terms of cash is worth much more to his business and the shareholders within it than giving them dividends. Okay, so in terms of cash in the business, when someone values your company, they look at the cost of equity. And if you're giving dividends out to your shareholders, your cost of equity is higher because you're giving it away to your shareholders, and you're therefore essentially less liquid because the money in the business is going out to the shareholders in terms of cash. But if you're able to demonstrate that not only are you reinvesting the cash in terms of capital and growing the business in consequence, your asset management ratio goes up, your cost of equity goes down. And so you're in the weighted average cost of capital calculation, you're a better risk in terms of discounting, and your value of the company will go up as well. So you might want to add in, if you've got corporate finance people or CFOs, big companies, and you've got shareholders, think about the value to the shareholders by retaining cash. So you can add that into how much as well, just to add in a little bit more around the strategic planning as to how you can actually grow your business through investment, through objectives and things like that. So in terms of the objectives, again, make them specific. So specific in terms of we want to increase our GP by 2%. We want to increase our UOP by, let's say, 50 basis points or bips. Basis points are a decimal of a percentage. Sometimes it's measured in basis points because in large turnover businesses, basis points can matter for a lot. Increase in percentage points or basis points, it's no problem. So we'll keep it as percentages. You might want to increase your UOP by 2% also, just as an example to keep it specific. You might want to increase sales. You might want to go from 500,000 to 1 million in 5 years, or you might want to 10x your business and go 5 million, in 5 years. But as long as it's specific, so we'll add another number on there. Let's say 5 million from 1 million in 5 years. Where do you want to go in terms of jurisdiction? What is it you're going to deliver, and who you're going to deliver it to? Who is going to be in your business? And you've answered the how much, the when, and the why. Okay, so what we can do now is in our objectives that we've got in here over 5 years, we can now create that line of sight from where you're at right now to where you want to get to in the future. And you can therefore allocate budgets and targets year on year for you to achieve these core objectives over 5 years. And every year you can remeasure and rebaseline to ensure that you're making success, hitting the SMART key success factors. So we'll say SMART key success factors. Okay. So what's very important now is to understand what it is in the business that aids or hinders you from delivering against these key objectives. And that's why here, again, I mentioned what, but I didn't write it down. What is it that you're doing? Now, task efficiency, ability, relationships, and knowledge. Okay. So over years 1, 2, 3, and 4 into year 5, what tasks currently do you need to make more efficient in order for you to incrementally meet these growth objectives? Now, sharing experiences with you, I have gone into businesses from individual business units to global companies, and they've had more objectives and more initiatives to deliver that don't contribute towards customer value. You know, so that thing that happens when a customer takes the hand out of their pocket and gives you money to put in your pocket, the tasks and initiatives that they've been asked to do don't add to customer value. And I've personally been there, interviewed these people and witnessed it firsthand as well. And so that's why it's important to understand what in the business adds to cost without increasing revenue, that adds to expenses without optimizing the increase in sales or optimizing something in the business to allow you to increase, to allow these guys here to increase their exposure to the customer and add customer value. So business-wise, you will have incremental objectives year on year to meet. Everything in terms of ability, relationships, and knowledge should contribute towards customer value. Everything you allocate in terms of initiative to meet your goals, everyone in the organization, whether you're a solopreneur to a blue chip CEO, everyone should be empowered to ask, where's the value in this? In terms of, does it add value? Is it going to help us increase sales, or does it help us deliver customer value? Does it optimize the cost of sales? Does it make someone who's delivering to a client, does it make their life easier? Does it make things quicker to get to the customer to increase sales in terms of cash flow? Are we able to increase price because our service delivery is so optimum that these initiatives have allowed us and enabled us to do that? If the answer is no to any of those questions, then those are the initiatives that you need to stop doing, or you need to alternate them if they have to be done. For example, employing people. Now, employing people, I have a real passion for. I have a real passion for talent, people strategy, mentoring programs. I've done stuff in line with CIPD and things like that. The recruitment process itself, as wonderful as it is when you meet these incredibly talented people, doesn't add to customer value. The customer doesn't take money out of their pocket, put it in mine, because I employ great people, or I know how to employ and find talent and retain talent in terms of people. So that's just one example as to that process. If there's an initiative within your business that has something like that doesn't contribute to customer value, so it doesn't add this, it adds this, in fact, which takes off your GP. And in turn, obviously, you'll have a knock-on effect to your underlying operating profit and your EBITDA. If it's something that is included in your expenses that doesn't optimize the cost of sales, which increases revenue or increases price, then it needs to be as efficient as possible within the business if you want to hit the incremental growth targets. So your task efficiency are the initiatives that don't add to customer value. those are the tasks that you want to make way more efficient. What happens when you increase your task efficiency is that you enable the people who are delivering customer value to do more here. And that's how this applies to the business growth TEvARK, is that you've established the current baseline in terms of your current structure, your people, your talent, your clients. You understand where you're at in terms of geography, market potential, competitors, internal, external, and what it is that you're doing that contributes towards customer value. So you might have a key service line that your customers really, really love. You might have a key product that you can't get off the shelves quick enough. And understanding what happens between you creating the product or creating the service, marketing it and selling it, the space in time between this point here and the customer buying, that's the space that you need to understand very, very quickly and very succinctly. And it should aid your vision and also your objectives as to what you want to achieve as well. Who are the best data points to tell you what customer value is? Two people, the customer, and also your own people that have direct contact with your customer as well. They will explain to you, number one, what they perceive to be customer value to be, and also in terms of your own people, what helps and what prevents them from delivering it. So you might get your people say, do you know what, it takes me 2 weeks. We need to get trades in the business. It takes me 2 weeks to fill a form before it goes back to HQ, before I get the approval to hire someone, etc., etc., etc. Or everything's on paper. Can we not automate it a little bit more professionally? Because it's taken maybe half a day. That's half a day that I could be spending with the customer, and that's adding customer value. Etc., etc. So in this timeline and year on year, you should be very strategic and tactical as to what initiatives you implement, because you'll be able to now make the correct judgment and decisions on what initiatives you want to implement, because you'll know that if they don't add customer value, then what's the value in it? And if it's something that has to be done within the business, then make it as efficient as possible. What does that do? It makes your costs and your expenses more efficient, which allows you to increase the profit streams going into the business. If you're able to enhance task efficiency and increase ability, relationship, and knowledge, i.e. customer value, you will not only sell more business, but you have a justifiable tactic to increase price as well. So let's draw these through. 1 to 4. So what happens now is you've taken some initiatives. You might have dropped them in your business. You might say, you know what? Doing that initiative is going to prevent us from delivering our core business and customer value more so than actually doing the task. Or we need to do this because it will optimize what's taking us 2 days to do. It might only take us 1 day, which allows us to increase production, which allows us to sell more to clients, which allows us to increase customer value again because we have more touch points with the clients, because we're selling more products and services. We've been able to increase customer value so we can justify increasing the price of the increased sales. And we've optimized cost and expenses within the business. So our profit margins are not only going up because of that, they're going up because of the price increase. And that's how you deliver exponential growth. And each year, once you take the step, you can re-baseline this for your year 1, exactly the same for year 2, re-baseline what you achieve here. Same big step, big step in year 3, year 2 to 3. And again, rebaseline where you get to here, and then rebaseline where you get to here. So by understanding the starting point from where you're at right now, what you want to achieve, set your budgets and targets and initiatives in terms of what you want to achieve in year one. But by projecting over into 5 years, you never lose that line of sight from where you started to where you want to get to. And you know that these are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and timed, because you've set the time, you've made them specific. They're measurable because you can set service level agreements, you can set budgets and KPIs for year-on-year targets to be hit in your business. They're relevant because you've got your current position within the business, and then they're timed because you set your timeline for your company. So that's the step-by-step strategic planning strategic action plan that you can add into your business. So having done all of that, understood current position of your business, understood your financial position, structure, people, clients, etc. You've understood which initiatives that you want to deliver. You can put them into objectives because you know that they're initiatives that either optimize cost and expenses, allow you to sell more, allow you to increase price, or all of the above. You know that you're able to add customer value because you're getting direct feedback from your customers and from your people that are serving your customers. And then you can demonstrate year on year how you can grow as a business. So what's really powerful with this is, although I've drawn it for you just now, if you were to put this in a PowerPoint slide or into a presentation, this is why I try and get away from the perception of strategy being Google PowerPoints and spreadsheets. Frameworks and diagrams are needed for communication. But if you're able to bring your people, or if you're able to demonstrate to yourself, if you're a solopreneur, or if you're able to present this information at this level within your organization to say, this is the current structure, this is how many people we have in the business, these are our top clients. Our clients have told us their key value creators that they see in us are this, and this. Therefore, the key initiatives that we're currently delivering, these are what our people have told us are actually, they're spending too much time on. These are the initiatives that our people have told us that will actually give them time back to spend more time with their customer or selling to customers and increasing customer value, which means if they're doing that, we're effectively optimizing our costs and expenses because we've enabled our people to deliver more customer value, which justifiably allows us to sell more and increase sales and increase price. We know what our internal and external strengths, weaknesses, opportunity and threats are. We know our competitors, and therefore we're going to set ourselves a market leading margin ahead of our competitors. If we want to grow exponentially, we have an organic route because we've looked at this market in this jurisdiction or in this geography, and we've assessed the market, and this is what could happen if we were to grow in that market. Or we've looked at this competitor or this service provider that's quite close to what it is that we're doing. Or we know that the market is becoming quite transactional in terms of mergers and acquisitions. So if we were to go and buy someone, then this will help us achieve these objectives as well. It's very, very powerful to be able to explain this, and the diagram, the TEvARK framework is there for you to be able to frame it in your mind and be able to explain it within your business and set realistic, tangible actions that come from strategy, which is decided upon from your vision. Here's another way how you can communicate this in terms of your objectives into your business. So I'm going to rub this off now. But what I wanted to show you is how to embed it within the company. So see, enable, and embed. So see, enable. I'm going to explain to you how to embed this into your business, and it'll be very, very quickly. So this is the punchline, basically. So we'll rub this off. And just what I want to say. What we're going to do now is we're going to take the why that you've established, because you know that it's a good why, because you've done everything and understood exactly what adds to customer value and what doesn't add to customer value. So what you're able to do is to explain this to your people in your organization. You will have your vision in the middle. Definite purpose, plan for the future, and core values. And this is how it's actionable, and it aids daily decision making by adopting this framework as well. Your vision came from the vision that you set when you were at the beginning of the talk. Outside the vision, you'll have your objectives that you've set yourself in terms of growth. So in line with the objectives, and we can make them general as well. So we can add in optimize operations. You can have increased sales. You can have core talent and skills need analysis, learning needs analysis. We can abbreviate them here: skills needs analysis, learning needs analysis. But that's essentially HR ensuring that you've got the right people to be able to deliver customer value, the right salespeople to ensure that the customer value message is getting across, marketing people ensuring that you're marketing your services and products to your clients, students, or patients in a way that they perceive to be of value as well. So make sure you're getting the right people. So we'll call this one talent. Learning needs analysis, skills needs analysis. Because again, you want to ensure that whatever is able to increase price, increase sales, optimize cost, optimize expenses to increase profit, add to customer value. The way that your business operates, you should be able to understand in yourself, because you're operating it, what skills are needed in your business, whether it's a trade, whether it's to deliver process, whether it's to do something within your company that allows your company to operate. You should understand which skills are needed for that. And therefore, which people do you need within your company to be able to optimize and leverage the way that you're able to operate, sell, and deliver customer value. If hiring people is not an option, then learning needs analysis can be done in the same way. So you can understand if a new legislation comes out or a new policy, something like that needs to be done. A learning needs analysis will allow you to put in place some form of budget, which allow your people to learn more, which allow your people to deliver extra, optimize their costs to the business because they can deliver more from what they've learned, etc. So we'll call that one HR. Optimize operations, and then perhaps you've got marketing, and then you might have strategy here in terms of organic growth, so we'll put growth, and retention. So you can allocate objectives, smart objectives around the vision that you've set yourself for your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year vision your 5-year SMART goals to grow your business. And these will be those objectives here. Then if you're a large organization, or if you're 5 people, you might have a CFO, or the person who manages the finance. You might have someone who helps you with the marketing. You might have a virtual assistant even. You might have a group of people that lead on product development. You might have people who deliver services and who are in charge of accounts for specific clients. As long as you get a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, maximum 5 key objectives that meet the SMART growth goals that you want to achieve, you can then allocate specifics to the individual teams as to whose jurisdiction it would fall into. So increased sales, your head of sales may have people or teams that work within them. So you as a CEO, for example, can say, Mr. and Mrs. Head of Sales, you know that our growth target is to increase sales by this much. We want to assign you to go and win these clients' business or sell these product lines to hit these targets. So go and do it, or go and ask your team as to how they're going to contribute to this objective so that we meet the overall growth goal. Exactly the same with talent. You know what kind of people you need to have within your business to fulfill the customer value equation, optimize cost, optimize expenses to increase sales and increase price. So head of HR, talk to your talent acquisition partner if you have one, talk to your recruitment partners if you have them. Go out and find me a Lean Six Sigma specialist to optimize our current operations. Go and find a systems specialist for the ERM system, so that we can optimize that and work with finance for us to be able to implement that effectively. Strategy and growth and retention in terms of clients. So again, account management teams you may have here that you can assign specific retention targets and sales targets for them to be able to talk with the sales team as to what it is that they need. What's very powerful with this is you're not only empowering your people to hit key objectives that are directly linked to the success of the business, they have to help each other in order to optimize costs and optimize expenses for you to increase on your margins. And they can see everything at the same time in one place. So they know there's no one asking now, why? Well, this is our vision. We got together and we established key growth targets that increase sales, increase margins, optimize costs, optimize expenses. We need these people in the business. We know where we're going to be, who we're going to do business with, and who's going to be in the business. That's what we said. These are the objectives to help us fulfill that. Go and fulfill these objectives, and then guess what? In your performance management systems, in your one-to-ones, in your performance reviews, the meetings will be writing themselves, and you're able to manage your team much more effectively because everyone knows what objectives they need to meet, because it lines right up to the line of sight from the current position right back to the vision of the business. And that's how your vision aids daily decision making, because everyone knows what the definite purpose is, what the plan for the future is, because you've planned it over 5 years, and what the core values are in order to achieve these objectives. Core values, reflective of customer value, I would expect, because you'll do business with customers that you like and that they like you, and therefore you're able to make that link of customer value. Assign the objectives to the people in your team in order for you to meet those core objectives. They themselves can delegate into their team. You can cascade objectives into people performance management systems and monitor people's performance, give people KPIs in order for measuring their performance. And they themselves, if they're talented individuals, will realize that if they meet their objectives and start asking for more work, they themselves will be optimizing costs and optimizing expenses for you to increase your margins, because these guys can do more, increase their performance, increase the business's potential for adding to customer value. So that's how you can take the task efficiency versus ability relationship and knowledge, the TEvARK, and put in place a robust strategic action plan for your business, following the 6 steps of growth, which you can find the book on Amazon, adopting the TEvARK, assigning the vision, understanding what the current position of the business is, putting in place smart objectives in terms of growing the business over time, 3 to 5 years minimum, and then understanding which initiatives and which tasks that are in your business that you need to optimize and make much more effective, or stop doing if they don't add to customer value, so that when they're as efficient as possible, you've allocated more time to increase ability, relationships, and knowledge, which then in turn increases customer value. So that's how you're able to increase price, increase sales, increase GP, increase UOP, underlying operating profit, and grow exponentially. And once you've got that model nailed and you're rebaselining every year and tracking every year, you can take that entire model and grow organically. You can look, in terms of due diligence, you can look for businesses that you find that are attractive to you as a company to grow, but there are opportunities in there in terms of task efficiency. There are opportunities in there in them delivering customer value that you're able to see by having gone through this process, and you're already knowing that you're able to optimize it because you've done it before in your own business. So when you buy another business, you're able to look for these areas in terms of people. Again, go through the 7 questions. What is it they do? How do they do it? Where are they? Who do they deliver to, and who was in their business, and how much in terms of their current position, in terms of financial position. So tomorrow, we're going to cover how the TEvARK can be used again by developing your people. So we're going to talk a little bit about learning needs analysis, skills needs analysis, essentially understanding what skills and learning needs your people need within your company to deliver more business, more customer value. But we'll cover that again tomorrow. It starts off again with the baseline. It's called a job description. And it starts off with being able to progressively take someone on as a mentor to allow them to grow in expertise, ability, relationship, and knowledge to deliver more in the business and essentially get them promoted. And we're going to talk about succession planning and resilience and people strategy in the next session. So TEvARK, I've proven that it's versatile. It's my own creation. I've used it in blue chip organizations to deliver mentorship programs, to deliver business growth, tangible business growth outcomes. And I've used this as well to allow the whole organization to see exactly what it is we're aiming to achieve. It's not stuck on a wall. It's in people's books. They get it out every day and they think, how can I make a decision? I've been asked to do something. Does it contribute towards customer value, the objectives that we want to achieve? Does it align to our definite purpose, plan for the future, and core values? Signing off. Have a good evening. I will see you tomorrow.